This week in Red Letter Lent, we're looking at encounters with Jesus. And when we think of encounters with Jesus, probably the thing that comes to mind are all the people who were on the outside, and Jesus steps out of all the cultural boundaries, all the expectations, all the social pressures to include and welcome them. Jesus, his love is for everyone. His love welcomes and rescues and changes everyone. But today's passage reminds us of something. We're in Mark chapter 10, and we're reading verses 17 to 27. And here we see that Jesus' love, it's free for all, and it costs everything. A rich young ruler comes, someone who's followed and obeyed all the commandments. And Jesus says, if you would follow me, sell all your possessions, give them away, sow yourself into the kingdom, the eternal kingdom of God, and then come and follow me. I think this is one of those passages that's so hard to understand because it's so simple. It's so direct. It's so on the nose. Jesus says that to try and enter the kingdom of God whilst clinging to possessions, to materialism, to status, to the things around us, it's like trying to pass through the eye of a needle. More than that, it's like a camel trying to pass through an eye of a needle. That's, I think, a comical image. I think Jesus is making a joke there that maybe is a little bit lost across time and culture. And I think part of the humour is the image of a camel. A camel is big and lumpy. And of course, it's the most ridiculous thing you could think of passing through the eye of a needle. But camels are also notoriously stubborn, willful, won't be forced to do something they don't want to do. Jesus says, the things that we cling to, our obedience of the law, our material wealth, our status, our power, sometimes they can be things that make our hearts stubborn, that stop us doing the right thing and following Jesus. So as Jesus challenges us and shows us his boundaries today, I guess there's three questions, two directly raised in the passage and one indirectly that I want to maybe raise with you today. As you pray and read, maybe you could ask, first of all, what do you have that is stopping you entering right now? What are you clinging after or pursuing that is a blocker to what God would do in your life? Is it status or wealth or the pursuit of possessions? Second question is, what is Jesus calling you to give up? Jesus didn't say these words to every single person he came across. At the same time, there is no qualification on this. The call of God is unique to all of us. And I don't want that to diminish the strength of what Jesus says here about wealth and possessions. But it does raise the question, if Jesus walks into your life, what would he tell you to give up? Where is he calling you to go? What's the cost he's asking you to make? I'm telling you, this is an eternal treasure that you will lay hold of if you take it up. And I think the third question, one that we've asked in a Sunday sermon when we've looked at this passage before, is where are your boundaries? Jesus was so radically inclusive and hospitable. But in order to be radically inclusive, he had to have some limits. He had to say no to some things. He had to draw out the lines of what he's about. What boundaries do you need to put in your life? What do you need to say no to? Who do you need to say no to in order to fulfill the promises and the purposes that God has for your life? I pray as you read this passage today and ask those three questions, God would speak to you and direct your heart into